three stages to this game. You play, you compete, and lethal.
Steps into it. Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding?
All day. Looking deep for Hollywood Brown again. He's got it. Brown off to the races. And he stays on his feet. Touchdown!
For overtime. Parker's kick is blocked. It's picked up by the Titans. This game is over. Second down in the air and picked off by Brad. Will he get it here? Yes!
And we're back. Episode 6, not 3. Because in the first take I said 3. Yeah, it's good to be back. Again, it's been quite a while, but we're going to talk about news and all the stuff that we've missed over the last few weeks. Hopefully we're a more professional outfit and actually getting paid the dollar for this, then we'll be doing it every week, and hopefully when the season starts. But yeah, we're going to talk about a bit of draft recap, again, late to the party compared to people who've already done it, and you can get our information, what we think, which is probably pretty little.
We can use their information as well, which makes us sound even better.
This is true. We can just look at what everyone else has said and go, yeah, we agree. And yeah, a few bit, and yeah, some news and stuff like that. Just normal bits and bobs, really. But yeah, guys, be back. Excited.
I'm buzzing. It's been good to get the boys back together, and it's also one where we've spoken about things briefly, but it seems like it's been a while and we're back at it.
Yeah, it's good to, like you said, like Reece says, just to get back in and start speaking about football again, and just we've got a lot to talk about really in that sense, like you say, with the draft and things. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Cool. Well, let's get straight into it. Draft. Obviously, the main man, Trevor Lawrence, goes first. Of course, that wasn't going to change, was it? That was always going to be the same. Your man, Zach, goes second.
Yeah, well, I mean, in my mock draft, I
think.
put him first, but I think I did know that he wasn't going to go first. It was always going to be Trevor Lawrence, but yeah, he's gone to it. It sounds really stupid, but I've got a really weirdly good feeling about Zach Wilson. I know obviously a lot of people have said about, it's just another version of Sam Darnold, blah blah blah. But I don't know. I don't know why I do. I just seem to have. I think it's purely for the fact that I've just watched a lot of Zach Wilson. Like obviously coming into the draft, I watched a lot of his college highlights and actually watched his pro day and then obviously the draft night and blah blah blah. I just feel like he'll be really decent for the Jets. Not that the Jets are actually any good, but yeah, as a franchise, I think he'll fit it well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sort of seeing how he gets on.
Yeah, I think he'll do all right. Obviously, his stock went up a lot not long before. I think he was probably projected a little bit lower, wasn't he, really? And then he did his pro day and all of a sudden everyone started talking about him. So yeah, I hope he does well.
I feel like it's
his family.
Yeah.
His family, like,
all look the same.
It's so
and they're
weird. All really good looking.
Yeah.
You're just like, what's going on? Like his brothers are just...
Misses as well.
Yeah. It's one of those
was it his mum though? Wasn't someone getting?
Yeah.
Zach Wilson's mum or something. I was like, wow. I would draft him just for him.
I feel like the difference for him compared to Sam Darnold is the fact that I feel like obviously they've got a new head coach in. They seem to have more of a. They've drafted more weapons for him. They've got more weapons in for him, and defensive sort of help. So I feel like he's set up more so than I feel Sam Darnold probably was. But yeah, big on him. I'm sure he'll be all right. I'd like to say it's the Jets, so they're never going to actually win anything because it's the Jets. But I feel like I've got a gem in Zach Wilson. I think he'll.
Yeah, I think
he'll be there for years.
100%. I think there's no reason why he shouldn't succeed, really. Yeah, there's not really much else I can say. I think
it's one of those. I think they can personally he can succeed, but he's not gonna. You're right. We say he's at the Jets. He's not gonna win anything with them as a team, is he? He's not gonna.
We wouldn't have thought so. No.
It's theoretically.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I don't think he's not going to suddenly win them a Super Bowl this.
Well, we did say this about Tom Brady last year.
This is true.
I'm
This is
not-
Tom
I'm
Brady.
not-
This is
I'm not-
experience.
no,
This is a very different player.
I'm not at all comparing it, but we did have these exact
Wow, you comparing
conversations.
Zach
of-
Wilson to Tom Brady? God.
No, God,
It's a
no.
first for a lot of you,
God.
Reese.
God, I
Julio
was a
Jones.
Bills fan.
God, no, yeah, no. All I'm saying is we had the exact same conversation. I know it's a different scenario, but not going to happen, and we were
No.
surprised this year, so who knows what could happen.
Number 3, another quarterback, Trey Lance.
That was the big one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Really, 1 and 2 was done.
I think it was done. I'm gonna put it out there and be a bit controversial, but I don't think Trey Lance is gonna be as good as people think.
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't. I just got this idea. I
I
probably have
suppose
nothing to back this,
They
but
had
I just
Justin
feel.
Fields sleeping there. I feel like, it was never. I'm gonna say it was never going to be Matt Jones. It was going to be Matt Jones because obviously they were high on him. But yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Like, didn't the guy not play at all last year? He's not taken a snap since 2019, I think. Or something stupid like that I saw. So it's when you got players like a Justin Fields that was still available. Obviously they had Matt Jones still there.
I knew Matt Jones wasn't going to go.
No, he never will.
No.
Rightly so, I think as well.
Yeah.
I hope he does well though.
No, I do. I wouldn't.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel it'll be different for them because they're so used to really having, like we said before, like the traditional quarterback. That's probably why they were quite high on Matt Jones, whereas Trey Lance can sort of bring that modern
Forward
sort
thinking.
of twang. Yeah, sort of if he can't, the pocket collapses, he can rush for a first down or
I think
a
that's
touchdown.
I think that's why Mac Jones actually suits where he's gone to with the Pats. If you think what they had in Brady before, and we said they're kind of using a filler. Maybe this is their franchise when they're going to fill with a traditional style quarterback again that they're hoping for.
Yeah, no, I think.
I think you do a sleep on Trey Lance though. I'm all for him. I think when we first did our mock drafts, a month ago.
Yeah.
I think he was my second. Well, he was my second round, my second pick. I think you're sleeping on him big time.
Jimmy G,
I wonder how he feels about the whole thing. Man,
Well,
it was Super Bowl 2 years ago.
He'll still start. I don't think he's not gonna. I reckon probably, obviously without any injuries, I probably think Trey Lance will
Trevor will start. Zach will start.
week 18. I reckon. If not,
yeah.
a bit later on in the season,
Trey Lance won't start 100%.
I reckon it'll be like how Tua was last year.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, like Jimmy G didn't play too much last year because of injury, so he could come back and be absolute dog water. So they might have no other option.
This is true.
Just sling him in. So it depends on Jimmy G, I suppose.
Carl Pitts, what a pick.
Yeah.
Tight end.
I honestly thought the Falcons were going to go as much as Matt Ryan. It's still got it. I just feel like they'll, again, with the QBs still available at 4, I was like they potentially will trade just for maybe like a backup, and eventually like take the crown. But yeah, when you've got Carl Pitts sitting at 4, you can't not take him, really, can you? He's an absolute hybrid of a bloke.
Highest drafted tight end in history.
Is it actually?
Yeah, highest drafted
I
tight end
thought
in history.
people like George Kittle and Travis Kelce went high. They didn't.
No.
They weren't high at all, really. I think they were both still first round. Well, I don't even know if they were. No, I don't think they were. I don't think they were even first round. And you think, that's laughable now. They're the best 2 tight ends in a long
George
while.
Kittle was drafted 5th round.
There you go, 5th round. And he's picked by some people to be better than Travis Kelce.
And Travis Kelce was drafted.
I didn't realise actually. Yeah, that's. I didn't even know about that fact.
Travis Kelce was drafted 3rd round.
Yeah.
So that I think we said that again.
Does that give him added pressure, or does that give?
So I think we said last time was that what you see is that a lot of the first round ones, the ones that may seem as big flops, is because there's so much pressure on them. Whereas if you come and run 3rd, 4th, 5th round,
They've got that chip on their shoulder, I suppose. And then
yeah, you've got something to prove. Like you have a point to prove that you need to prove properly, and also there's no expectation on you, or less expectation.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those that.
If you go so
in or
far back,
against.
it's just you're happy to be there.
Yeah.
I think I was saying to one of my mates, he was talking about it, and I was like, the first round and the second round for me, they're your, they're almost your starters. Anything beyond that is developmental, and then obviously it goes even more developmental with the undrafted guys. But most of those, unless they're a diamond in the rough, just get cut before the season starts. So it's. But yeah, with him, I think he'll smash it. I don't think he's got anything to worry about. Like from what I've seen of him, just unreal.
You can even slot him in at wide receiver, really, can't you?
Yeah.
He's one of those.
Tight end, I think the tight end position is changing so
Yeah.
much now. We'll probably talk on that again a bit later on. But I think the tight end position itself is so much more diverse than what it was 10 years ago.
It's almost like a third wide receiver at points, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like the sports sort of what's the word, like health and physio and all that, like is a sort of
science
has sort of created this tight end to be this position, because naturally, like your front men are usually just big blokes with big bellies.
Like the Broncos rookie.
And I think tight ends were probably almost similar to that, and now they've turned into this basically absolute animals, probably the same sort of as linebackers in sort of stature, but they can still run.
They're a hybrid of like 3 or 4 positions into one. They've such a multifaceted skill set.
So many quarterbacks still target their tight end as like their main guy over a wide receiver. I mean, Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady, and it's like that's
a partnership for years.
You think? Like, I think they do say like the tight end for the quarterback is like the safety net, because it's almost they're never
safe hands, aren't they?
They don't tend to. Well, they're not running deep.
It's never normally that much of a sort of high risk play as such.
No, especially if they're on like a
they normally
third
make
and 2 or
short routes, but they're obviously
safe hands
there to get to the first down.
You look at Mahomes and Kelsey, perfect. Pairing in that sense.
100%.
Actually, like you say, because they're just a bigger.
They're
at the minute they're bigger blokes.
Safe hands, aren't they?
Whereas they can normally well, not what I've seen with not even just necessarily them two, but other tight ends, they can take a hit more. Whereas I feel like wide receivers are quite slight, because obviously they're just absolute rapids. They get up, they can jump, still quite physical, but then they're just the size of most
tight ends
can
shake off a tackle.
Because you think Rob Gronkowski plays
bounce off him,
snaps with on the defensive side of the ball sometimes. There's a blocker. And then you think like
what an animal.
Yeah, and you just think like sometimes like you just wouldn't get any other sort of like a wide receiver sort of doing that.
I think that's what I think. I mean, if I was a defensive back, and I'd much rather run and tackle a wide receiver who's probably the same size as me, maybe a bit bigger, but probably the same size. But then when you've got a tight end running, might not be quite as fast, but still an absolute unit. You're like, I'm not taking this bloke down. So I think the tight end position is definitely probably one of the most exciting ones at the moment for me. I think probably the same for you guys. Like Travis Kelce and just
George Kittle. But even behind the big names, like the whole that position is I think it's evolved massively. And thanks.
I think certain teams play on it more, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I think out of the draft, though, looking back at this list, there was hardly any tight ends drafted high, was there? I think he was
in the first, I'm looking at it now. No, there was none in the first round apart from him.
And there was one other in the second round to the Steelers. So it's like it's almost. I don't want to say it's not a dying breed because it's developing, but it's almost whether there's a huge class coming through or not.
I wonder if it's a position that players might not necessarily start as, but develop into.
Morph into.
Yeah. But I think that I think for the Falcons it's brilliant, and sort of look into the future. I reckon they'll probably draft a quarterback next year.
Yeah, I thought so.
And then they'll have a. I mean, not that I'm saying. Not that I've got anything against Matt Ryan and older quarterbacks, because Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers show that older quarterbacks have still got it. But he's probably on the cards to go. But hey, we'll probably talk about that in terms of future another time. But next one, Jamar Chase, the Bengals hooking up with his old LSU.
It was one of the few that I actually got right on my mock draft. It was either going to be Penei Sewell to get defensive.
Is that how we're saying it?
I think I've watched it enough now. It's Penei Sewell.
Penei Sewell.
Not Penny Sewell.
Not Penny Sewell.
Penei Sewell.
Penei Sewell.
I'm
confident in saying that. That was Penei Sewell.
Penei Sewell. Okay.
It was either going to be him, sort of to protect
any more names we can
Joey
butcher
B.
today.
Yeah. Or it was always going to be him, like for a wide receiver and a weapon. Bear in mind they lost AJ Green. Great draft for me.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Because you think when Justin Jefferson was there, he always targeted Jamar Chase more when they were both there. And that season they won everything in his sort of last year as a college player. So why not do it in the league?
Yeah, no.
I think for him that's for Joey B especially, that's class.
Do you know what, I think my favourite coming on from that, I think my favourite pick through the whole of the first round was the Panthers at 8th. JC Horn at cornerback.
JC, yeah.
I think that was a huge pick for them and one that I'm extremely jealous of.
Yeah, I think that's a very good pick.
It's a strengthening position where there's a big class of corners as well.
It was a big class.
A lot of them.
I mean, I'm gutted.
Oh, you should have had
Patrick's
Patrick the second.
Well, it's annoying because we needed. Don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely buzzing with Micah Parsons. Like, it's a great draft. But yeah, I think even in the heart of hearts, even of like the coach McCarthy and obviously Jerry Jones, we wanted a JC Horn or especially Patrick Surtain, because that's just a position we need to strengthen in. Obviously we have done, but not up to the caliber of them two. So yeah, watching the draft, I was a little bit gutted when I saw. 100%. I was like, because I was quietly confident. I knew one would go, but I was also a bit quietly confident. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't think Carolina and
Denver.
So you got Denver
will take
Philly.
They'll take one. I don't think
Philly traded up, didn't they?
Philly traded with you, didn't they?
Well, this is the thing. Like,
Philly traded with you.
Well, that just shows how much we wanted a cornerback, because obviously they both went and then we traded back. I think 2 positions.
It was like, well, yeah, screw it.
Well, that's who we wanted. So
we'll take the guy that we've got to go next. We know isn't going to go to anyone else in the next 2.
because they don't need them necessarily. Because you think the next 2, it was us, and then it was the Eagles, and then Giants. So it was.
Yeah, if I was a Cowboy, I'll be properly gutted.
I am gutted. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy with Michael Parsons. Good, like, it's a good acquisition, but yeah, a little bit of kick in the teeth. Bear in mind, we were so close to getting either. Really, a lot of people say JC Horn, obviously he went higher, was the better cornerback. But what I saw, I was quite big on. Yeah,
I don't think Dallas expected both of them to go.
No,
like that.
Well, like I say, me and my dad watching it didn't. We were like, we knew one would go, probably the JC Horn one, but we fully expected Denver to pass on Patrick Surtain, but obviously wasn't meant to be. So yeah.
Going back to.
Sure, I skipped over about 3 picks there.
Penny Saul?
Penny Saul.
Penny Saul, mate.
Penny Saul.
I think that was an awesome pick.
Huge, yeah.
That
huge.
bloke is like.
Well, let's be real.
Bound.
Let's be real. They bloody need to help with the defensive side of the ball, because they've just acquired the most terrible quarterback ever.
He's got to protect him.
If I saw that, I would not even want to protect him. I was like, what's the point? The geezer's not going to throw anything good. He's going to throw it to the other team. What's the point? I'd be gutted if I was Penny Saul.
What? Every snap you just sort of stand up and turn around?
Yeah, I would. I was like, stay to him. Like he's. I'm going into the pre-snap huddle with him, and he's calling a play. He probably has no idea what it is. He's just getting it in his ear from the coach, and he's just clapping his hands, and he's calling them. Oh yeah, I'll be gutted.
If we ever make it big enough,
I feel like
in the future,
I can't wait for you to sit down with Jared Goff.
Yeah, if we ever have a studio, and we've got a London-based studio, we've got and we get Jared Goff on as a guest, I'd be
ill that day.
Beautiful.
Talking of London games. I know this is completely off topic.
God, we've got to keep to a script.
You said London. I was like, we haven't even spoken about London games in what we were talking earlier.
To be fair, we'll talk about that. Add that to the list. I don't know how I've forgotten about that, because Joel was sending me messages about, like,
we even said about the schedule coming out.
Yeah.
London games.
So yeah, obviously cornerbacks. We did actually miss the wide receiver pick for the Dolphins, but the Dolphins always the talk anyway.
Another weapon for Tua.
It is another weapon for Tua. They're probably going to be a bit dangerous next year.
They're draft pick this year. Another very good one, I think. All in all.
Chicago. Justin Fields.
Huge.
I've never seen a man look so or sound so unimpressed to join the Chicago Bears. Like, you ready to be a Bear? And he's just like, yes, sir. I can't wait to get started.
I just think for me, he seems that kind of person.
Yeah. I was saying that to my old man.
He seems very monotone.
A lot of the players I thought was the same. Even the ones that attended the draft. Probably apart from Michael Parsons, Zach Wilson. Who else was there that showed some sort of emotion?
So Zach Wilson was like fist bumping.
Matt Jones was another one. He was buzzing. But then you think like.
You look like, yeah.
Devontae Smith.
Jones's walk.
Devontae Smith. Carl Pitts. there's a couple others that just looked so unimpressed.
Yeah.
They just weren't. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, you're probably nervous and you're probably shitting yourself because you're going out to a stage and obviously your dream has just come true. But I'd be absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah, I'd be
going out to the stage, I'd be shitting myself. But I'd also be like, this is the
first round.
I'd be going almost over the top.
This is the best thing to ever happen to me. Like, obviously, you're now fully an NFL professional American football player.
And the thing is, you know that because of the position you've been drafted, you're going to get a half-decent contract.
Yeah. And you know that team wanted you because, obviously, you've been talking to them in the pro day and you've probably been talking to them the whole time.
Unless you're the Cowboys.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I just know. I actually got my back up. I was watching it with my dad and I was a bit like, why are they not delirious?
I think, but part of it though, I think it's
Shellshock
like acting
bit, man.
cool, like just like
I get that part.
like,
That goes out the window, surely.
Yeah, surely.
If you've been playing your life to
That's
get to
your
this
dream,
moment,
and it's just come true.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, that's probably part of it. Like, you're shocked and you're a bit like, I don't really know what's just happened. Like, you work your whole life to get to that point and it's just come true. So I can imagine it is a bit overwhelming, but
even
I thought there'd be more tears. I thought that from the players, obviously the family were crying, but
but you see more emotion from the guys that get drafted
later,
6th, 7th, 5th, even 4th, because they're the guys that are sat at home thinking,
this isn't going to happen.
am I going to, like, literally, they are actually sat staring at their phone. The guys who you watch on telly on the first and even the second
They know
round,
they're getting picked.
They know they're getting picked.
Yeah,
They're sat there just about where they're going. But you see the emotion from the guys that are at home.
Actually shocked.
Like usually, like first rounders, you see them, they're like, woo, they're celebrating and they're hugging families. Don't get me wrong, but they're like, they might be smiling. Some of them, obviously, some of them aren't. To go back to your point, but yeah, like the actual sort of the tears and the emotion you see from the guys that are getting picked. So they're like staring at their phone. It's like, oh my god, I'm being drafted.
It's probably, like you say, that you watch the first round and it's kind of all for the lights, the cameras, but then like you say, you get to the second, third, and fourth rounds, where realistically is where some of the GOATs have come from. You think the top 10, I think statistically, obviously apart from a few, probably don't make it. Well, definitely don't make it as much as they thought. The third and fourth rounds where everyone's a bit like, I'm not going to watch now because there's no point.
You get that whole chip on your shoulder thing as well.
Definitely. And then you think like that's like
it's not saying you're better, but it's that thing of
I'm going to prove.
Yeah. I got drafted 4th.
I think there's the thing as well is that it's a case of it's almost grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, the relief.
Whereas the first rounders are like, I expect to go here. I expect to be this position.
Don't worry, I don't think they're obviously cocky. Obviously, they've worked their arse off and they've got to the first round and they're obviously in the college team and they've been invited to the draft first round because for a reason.
But I think it's almost a case where, that because in their college career they've been bigged up and they're huge and they're the
you're always being told you're going to be
the best. You are the best. So I almost don't think, not that they don't appreciate it, but there's almost a bit blasé towards the opportunity
100%.
that comes to you because it is expected and anticipated. Whereas if you're one of these ones that there's 500 people sat there waiting for a call and you get it, it's almost a case of I'm actually really appreciative and I'm going to give my all.
Yeah, maybe that was the Justin Fields thing. Like we said off air, like he seems like that kind of kid. That kind of kid. Like he doesn't seem like that like emotional. Like he kind of looks like on his pro day when I was watching, like kind of like cool, calm, collected. But like you said, I think his pride was probably hurt because, like you said, he come out and said I should have gone higher. I know obviously everyone's going to say that, but yeah, you could definitely tell he was shocked he didn't go top 5.
Yeah, there is definitely, I think, with these guys like
a bit of hurt pride.
Yeah, and
of course.
They all so when I was watching the draft and they had I've forgotten his name, the ex-Cowboys guy for NFL Network was interviewing them on the little stage, and he was awesome and just want to keep chatting, and he kept getting told to stop talking. Black guy. He's awesome. Like he's like the woman's trying to present professionally, and he's just there already chatting to them. Just stop talking. Stop talking to them. We need to do that when the cameras are on. And he's
it's
just
the same when they were arriving on the red carpet. Yeah, it was just going on about their dripping stuff. It was just class.
It was awesome. But he was asking, where do you want to go? And he would make he's like, I know the like when Pat Surtain was up there, he was saying that about the Cowboys, there was no way on earth these players go in thinking, I don't care where I go. They must have. I don't mind where I go. Let the league pick. The teams pick. They've got to be sat there going, I want to go here or here.
Michael Irvin, that's his name. Michael Irvin.
2, 3 or 4 deciding factors where it's going to be who they've supported as a kid. If they're in the game, they've supported someone. So it's like, this is my team. The second bit is how close am I? Because they want to be close to home, or they don't want to be too close to home, and also the team you're going into. Whereas, like, if you're looking at, I actually want to go down the list of the first round, so I'm going into a half decent team, compared to, okay, I'm going to be the standout star in a higher pick, but
I'm going to a garbage team.
I'm going to sit there and I'm still going to be in this same position in a year or so's time. There's going to be these things.
There's
When
one
they're
that-
like, I don't mind where I go. I get that because you know you're going to be in a good position. You're going to get something, but you're going to have preferences.
I guess it's one of those things where, like, they probably in their head, like, okay, for an example, is Baker Mayfield, obviously, but you
I was
go number
just about
one,
to
did
say
he?
Baker, yeah, we're
Like,
number one.
the Browns, I didn't think they won it. They didn't, did they? 0-16 they went that year, and they got number one, I think.
Yeah.
And now look at them, like, okay, they didn't win, but they're a lot better now. They are a lot
now.
better. Obviously,
I
that's
wouldn't-
not just for
Yeah,
like,
so
just
it's not-
because of him,
Yeah.
but he's
But they
definitely a
built-
big
They
reason.
built like
Like I say, no, so that example, like people like the Zach Wilson and the Trevor Lawrences of the world now are probably like, okay, well, I've gone to a team that was shit, but like, why can't I be like a Baker Mayfield? And obviously, but both franchises, obviously the Jags more so than the Jets, seem to be on a rebuild. Like they're sort of acquiring better
the
players.
Jags this year, man. Their picks like
Urban
going-
Meyer, like getting him as head coach, like a bit of a risk, but because obviously he was at college and then he retired and he'd come out of retirement, I believe, to become the Jags head coach. But yeah, like you say, all in all, I think the Jags,
Yeah.
they're looking decent, they're looking strong.
If we just go back to Mac Jones and his walk.
Vince McMahon walk.
Vince McMahon walk.
The swagger for a
The
guy that went
swagger.
what?
15th.
15th?
He's made for the Patriots. So, and he
Yeah,
even,
he is,
he
you're
even
right.
said to the commissioner, and he was like, "This is what I wanted," or something. Like when he went up to the stage, he like hugged him, was like, "This is what I wanted," and I laughed it off, like, and it's like, yeah, he like stinks of the Patriot way, doesn't he?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
what I'm saying.
100%.
He's that traditional QB.
Pocket QB.
Yeah.
Not going to do much apart from throw the ball.
He's almost made for
strong
he's
arm.
made for the Belichick game, isn't he?
Oh,
He's literally
100%.
a Belichick
The
QB.
Pat-
if you've
make
ever
him,
seen
He
one.
will make him class.
The Pat way or no way sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Because
it's
he's
him.
not a terrible QB
No.
by any means. Stretch
No,
of
he's
imagination. He's
solid.
not great.
He's
but-
not.
Like I didn't really rate him that much, but when he went to the Pat side, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Like that's just
I think the reason we're saying he's not a terrible QB, and it's because I think we're saying about positions evolving. Where he is that completely traditional QB, it's like, oh, well, he's not got this, he's not got that, and he's got the arm, which is what you need. But yeah, he's not as mobile. Yes,
He's
he's not
taking
gonna.
it though.
Yeah,
He's solid.
and he
can
can
stay
take
in
a
the
hit.
pocket longer than people like,
Yeah.
well, like the Zach Wilsons of the world. As
Yeah.
much as I love him, he is slight, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's a very sort of smallish.
He's not going to be
skinny.
your mobile Lamar Jackson, but he's going to be the person in the pocket who you know is going to have an arm on him, and he's going to hit you usually.
yeah. I love the photo of him looking like a Lego man. It's like they put like a Lego man next to him, where he stood there wearing a red top and like grey shorts. Yeah, no, I think he's gonna fit. They're just fine. And going to the Patriots, can I just mention that Bill Belichick's dog made an appearance again?
Yeah.
He did.
I was very pleased about that.
It's like they knew you were watching, Jonesy.
Yeah, I was
they must have
like,
listened to
the
the
dog-
podcast.
the dog
you
is
were wishing
awesome.
that he was going to be
So
there.
pleased with it. I love how and you even get a slight smile out of Bill. Like, oh my god, I've just turned to stone.
I mean, if you're Cam Newton though, there you've got to know that this is your season and that's
Oh,
it done, isn't it? It's a
100%.
case of.
But then on the other hand, you've got to look at
Put
Matt
yourself
Jones.
in
As
show.
much as more Cam in his time when he was prime at absolutely Carolina.
Cam was unreal in his
Yes,
like,
I'm saying.
early days.
Like he's not.
Everyone's
Okay,
like,
we
oh
feel
my
like he's a
God.
little bit washed up now, but you think he had a year off. Okay, he's had a year. It wasn't the best year. I feel like he's not going to be great again, but I feel like he'll be a lot better than he was last year. And I think for Matt Jones, he can just sit there for a year and just watch him.
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah,
he's more mobile than Matt Jones. Don't be wrong, but he's got a hell of an arm on him. He is incredibly like sort of a smart QB. He makes some stupid decisions for like the throw-in and the running when he fumbles, but all in all, I feel like Matt Jones will learn a lot from.
Oh,
Matt,
definitely, yeah. Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I think it's almost a case of this year contract that he's got is a case of see it out, and this I think he has to be good this year because this is his shop window moment. Put yourself on show so someone takes you up.
I have this feeling though he's going to end up being like a Robert Griffin, like just end up becoming a backup somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Which he won't want because he's got ego.
Big ego.
Big
Which is what
ego.
lets him down.
Going to be the new Jameis.
No,
Eating
Jamie
dubs from the bench.
He's
It
just
cringes me out.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that time I saw the video. And he's literally like eating a W. I'm like, mate, you did play. Like, why are you? Shut up. They played a Taysom Hill, who's like low-key a running back / a wide receiver / anything but a QB, and he played more than you did. So like, chill out.
Yeah, you've got Drew Brees on your team.
It's so cringe. Yeah, you got one of the greatest ever. No wonder you won a game. Like, and he's there, like, giving it the big. I was like, shut up. Yeah, it was embarrassing. I thought.
Well, apparently, yeah, Drew Brees was like, "This is your team now." And if I was a Saints player, I'd be like, "Oh no."
I wouldn't support the Saints this year.
I mean,
God.
going back to trades and that, Eagles giving Jalen Hurts a big weapon.
Still not necessarily even going to be starting QB,
No,
I reckon,
no.
do they? I mean, he will, but they're all like, oh, it's not guaranteed yet.
Yeah, did you see his interview today? I think he said he's like, rent's always due, and I'm not going to miss payments to make himself QB1. And I'm like, fair play for you, but
Yeah.
you know, he's laying the gauntlet down. But
Yeah, Devontae Smith.
But did you see that the Giants come out and said that they were like fuming at the Cowboys because I don't know why. I don't think they didn't know that obviously you wouldn't that the Cowboys were going to trade down and the Eagles were going to trade up. But I had a dead set on
because the Giants were in between, weren't they?
They were going to go Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
He was their pick. He was their guy. Eagles trade up. Before they know it, they're like, and the Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. So they're like sitting there, shitting their knickers, like, oh, good, who have we got now?
They were 11th overall, weren't they? And
Didn't they trade down?
Yeah, they traded
down
to the Bears, who took Justin Fields.
Where did they go? They went 20th, and they got... Who did they even get? Something Tony?
Kadarius Toney.
Who's a wide receiver, but you like... from Florida.
I think teams
Kicking
slept
the
on
teeth.
Elijah Moore, who went to the Jets in the second round as wide receiver. Like I wanted him. I wanted him big time.
100%.
And yeah, he traded. He went down to the second round to the Jets.
I've got Najee Harris as well for the Steelers. I'm sort of
Yeah.
skipping a few now, just like the ones that stand out to me.
That's huge. G. Harris was
I
class.
don't know why. That's what they needed, wasn't it, a running back? And that's actually there was like some of the pundits were saying, "Oh, no running backs will be drafted in the first round," and then there was two.
Then you think Travis Etienne going to the Jags with his
2 in a row.
his old QB?
Yes, yeah. So again,
For both of them, Travis Etienne going to the Jag. You think, as much as obviously you don't care because you've made it and you're going to a team to be number one, but it must be a nice little safety blanket and like
Have us all, you know.
yeah, but you've just been in college with him for like 3 years, and now you're going to the same team. And let's be honest, I don't really know much about the Jags. I don't know who their running back is, but you're probably thinking this Travis Etienne's going to come in and probably take a few snaps, or he's going to play in the first few snaps.
yeah, I'd say so.
And you think, oh, it's all good because the guy that's going to be handing me the ball is the guy that I've been running, who's been handing me the ball for the last 3 years. So for them two, it's probably a nice little.
Yeah.
I'm buzzing, but I'm also a little bit more buzzing because I got my bro with me.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. Yeah, I think Jags will be. It'd be interesting to see the Jags. I don't want to be up going. Yeah, they're going to be like 14 and like whatever point.
Yeah,
you see.
they
Like,
won't be.
I don't think that's going to happen. But
Well, obviously not going to win the division. That's what I'm saying.
well,
Nowhere near.
no, they won't. Speaking of you, you're the cornerback.
Oh mate, we
Like
just went.
Caleb? Would you
Yeah.
say Caleb or Caleb?
Caleb Farley. We just went every defensive position possible got bolted out, which was needed. So
I'm sorry, I kind of skipped actually your pick there, Georgie.
Micah
Reed.
Parsons.
Yeah, well, why have I got so lost on this?
12th.
Oh yeah,
Micah
that's
Parsons. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
pick
we
for
actually
you
were
guys.
just talking about how the fact you didn't get who you wanted, but yeah, you did get a linebacker.
Yeah.
I
I mean, yeah. You think the two cornerbacks going? I mean, we were always going to. I mean, I think every pick of ours was a defensive player. I'm pretty sure. Maybe no. We got a wide receiver. Everything else was a defensive player. So it was so obvious. Like I said in the previous pods, that's what we needed. If he was to take an attacking player, I probably would have hopefully got a flight over to Dallas to like murder myself.
Jerry doing Jerry.
Yeah,
yeah,
but then you think,
Jerry just always wants big like stars, doesn't he?
yeah, don't get me wrong. Like he's like I said, like a couple of pods ago, like last year we had CeeDee Lamb sitting there at 18, so you could not take him. But yeah, I'm glad. Like gutted because we didn't get who we wanted. Patrick Surtain, but Michael Parsons, an absolute beast. Like obviously didn't know too much about him when we drafted and watched his college highlights at Penn State. What a beast he is as well, and how quick he is. And just
Yeah, who are you like? Who did he get? Might be second round. His name. I think it was a linebacker. Oh, I'll think about it later. I can't remember who it was.
I think the Giants did well getting Aziz is it Ojolari in the second round as well? Defensive end.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
He
Edge,
looks big.
Yeah,
He looks like he's going to do bits.
yeah, 100%. Where was I? Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I was forgotten about. There's a player I liked when I was watching the draft and they were showing like stuff. And I was like, wow, that guy's unreal. Yeah, the Ravens, we got a wide receiver in Rashad Bateman, which is unreal. I did not think we'd actually get such a good wide receiver that late down the field, which because we were in such desperate need of some targets for Lamar.
Where'd you go, 29?
Didn't you get two wide receivers in the draft?
Yes, we did get 2 wide receivers, yep. And then in the first round, we had 2 in the first round because we
Tylan Wallace.
Yep. Yeah.
And obviously you got Sammy Watkins. Drafted him as well, which was huge.
So yeah, some targets would be nice. Obviously our game is very much a run game, but it's good to have some targets for Lamar. And then Odafe Awaya. So this when they said his name.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
That
guy.
And then that's the next guy
Is
you
it Oway?
traded.
Oh, that was
Ben
Away.
Cleveland.
No, I think it's Away. Ben Cleveland. The irony that his surname's Cleveland. There was Away. I think it was Away. Yeah, because I was saying that the chant can be like away.
Oh dear.
No, that's bad, isn't it?
Oh god.
Oh,
He's put one of those on the Ravens forums, isn't he? Come on, guys! This is a great chant.
That's bad as the Seahawks.
What was that?
That was worse than the chant, Jones.
I hope you realise that we've now got a 62% American listening base compared.
Now we've got 1.
We've got more Americans listening to this than Brits.
We should have left the yeah in there rather than your accent.
That's worse.
Yeah. We're losing followers fast. But yeah, no, I think. I mean, any other? We've gone through pretty much all the first round. I don't think I'm sit here. What I will say though is, do we have any sort of winners and losers from you guys? Anyone you think that maybe not so much? Well, not so much for the draft, but maybe who you think's.
Well, like off-season acquires as well.
Yeah, just where they sit right now. Everything in off-season acquisitions, like and some of the undrafted guys.
I think the outside of probably the same 4 or 5 that's been posted everywhere. I think the Jets have done phenomenal. I think Zach Wilson was huge.
Yeah.
They've
Definitely. I'll put him as a winner for them as a winner for me.
A few huge weapons through free agency. I said about before in getting Corey Davis when we didn't renew his contract. I think they had a running back come in as well. They've been a few defensive additions. They've got the new coaches. Yeah, they just look strong.
Yeah.
And considering how bad the Jets usually look, this year they look at them and like they could. I'm not going to say they're going to do bits, but they're going to be a strong kind of mid team rather than.
It's one of those, isn't it? Like I'm hearing a lot of people say. On the other hand, they've got all these new people in, like rookies and stuff, and they've got a new head coach who's never been a head coach before, and it's not going to go well. I just think, like, why not give them the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, as I say, for me, benefit of the doubt, I think they're going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Big shout, and I think you're right. To be fair, I think they are.
I'll put Jags as well, just because obviously Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I think the Jags
class.
They had so many picks, and they said it was like their draft of the century. Like they had to draft well because they had they did.
And then they've got
filled
Urban
every
Meyer as
position
head
they
coach.
needed.
Like head coach wise, they did. I just feel like they restructured different parts, not just on the field, like ahead, like front office and stuff as well, which is needed. So yeah, I think for me, I've got losers. I've got Giants because they were
Just quick before you go to losers, I will say the Chargers. Quite like the look of the Chargers with their draft, and next year having, their no longer rookie quarterback.
I'm so big on Justin Herbert as well.
Yeah,
I think he's absolutely class.
Herbert is going to do. I think he'll do well next year. I think their team, from what I can see, they're going to.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
You think of Herbert, the pervert Family Guy?
Did they draft any Chris's? That'd be fantastic. They did. Chris Rump for. Oh, you couldn't write it.
If Justin Herbert didn't bring him to say that we're going to answer that, hey Chris, we drafted you. I'm not interested.
They did. Chris Rumpf the second.
Oh God, there's a first. There's a first Chris Rumpf.
Oh God, on the 4th round from Duke. So yeah, that was perfect. That was made.
Oh,
That was fun.
Brilliant.
back,
They did.
back to reality.
They did draft a Chris.
Who are you saying was a loser?
I've got losers. I've got Giants because obviously they really wanted. They had their heart set on Devontae Smith.
So they're your losers, yeah.
Them, and as much as we don't know for definite yet,
Oh,
I'm
good
sure
Lord, yeah.
we'll talk about it. I would say one of the losers is the Green Bay Packers. I know we haven't talked about it yet, but it's
We'll
looking
get there.
more and more
We'll get
likely that they're losing their goat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to move them off our tier list when he goes.
Oh yeah.
XFL.
Cheers, Green Bay.
Cheers, guys.
I mean, for
yeah,
me-
look at it. Sorry, go back to that New York Giants. Yeah, looking at it, they're like what they drafted.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, brilliant, cool, and then
Not the one they wanted.
offensive so linebacker, cornerback, running back, cornerback, and linebacker again. Right. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. So Reece,
Yeah, for me, I'm just looking. I think one of mine was.
what does the internet tell me?
I don't just know what name that. Just go through the list. And
No, I'm
for
joking.
me, my everyone's favourite team, the Raiders. Drafted an OT offensive tackle in the first round, and someone that, looking at internet, opinions, they were like they could have traded down, got extra picks, and he would have still been there in the second round, and they wasted it at the 17th pick.
It's just mental. Just
I don't get. Oh yeah, we've said it before. I just don't get that franchise. They're just
I don't get them with the eye.
wasters. And they drafted a safety, another offensive tackle. I'm just like,
I think another loser. I mean, they're just losers in general right now in every sense. Is the Texans. I mean, admittedly, they had the least amount of picks out of everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They didn't even have
Yeah, there
the
was
first
none
round.
in the
did
And
they?
their first,
first 3 rounds were they?
and I love how their first round pick was a quarterback.
Oh yeah, it was third round, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
third round. Sixth quarterback to be drafted.
Garbage.
And he doesn't. I mean, I know. I won't lie.
Pressure on a lad.
I know nothing really about the guy.
Yeah, I hope you're right because you're going to come and start week 1.
Great news.
But that goes to show, right, what's going on in the background. Like, they're sort of thinking, we might not have a quarterback that we can play. And they're thinking, like, if the whole,
Davis Mills.
thing hasn't happened, I know, the whole thing hasn't happened, they wouldn't be drafting a quarterback in the third round as their first pick. And the fact it's a quarterback going in the third round, don't get me wrong, we always go back to Tom Brady, picked, 199th, all that sort of stuff. But that's quite rare.
And they probably make calls to try and trade up or at least get into a higher round than the 6th round.
What can they offer?
Well, exactly.
Nothing.
Deshaun Watson? I've got literally so much baggage. Do you want him?
They've taken an ex-Raven in the free agency as well, and Tyrod Taylor as a QB.
Oh my God!
So they're bulking the QB
Tyrod
rank.
Taylor, he's going nowhere.
They're bulking the QB.
Tyrod
ranks.
Taylor's almost like Fitzpatrick and that teams he's been to in the last 4 years, 5 years.
He's nowhere near Fitzmagic standard.
So I'll tell you what as well. I know obviously they've still got one of the best ever. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? They drafted for a QB who I was actually quite big on. Kyle Trask from Florida. I don't know why. I was watching a program that was just on Sky Sports NFL, and they were like doing like a program on like QBs that weren't going to be top round. And he went second round. Watching his highlights, he looked class. To be fair, obviously he's not going to play just yet. But then you think for a year, potentially maybe 2 with TB, he's only going to get better, isn't he?
Oh, 100%.
And obviously he was thrown into Kyle Pitts. So it was obviously he probably made him look a lot better. But what I was seeing, and obviously they had an interview with him, and he just seemed like such a switched on kid, and he knew the game in and out. Like they showed him a really in-depth NFL play. He had to memorise it, and then he had to write it on a whiteboard, and he just got it spot on. And I don't know why that sticks with me. I was like, that's just class.
I think
So potentially in the next couple of years, I thought Kyle Trask at the Bucks will be someone to look out for.
Yeah, they've probably drafted him quite well, and the fact they know they got probably Brady for another I was about to say 2 years, but I mean the bloke's probably body's a temple, so he might be going on for another 5 years. But they know they've got him for at least 1, if not 2 years, And yeah, he's developmental and sitting under Tom Brady.
Exactly that.
Like, I'd be buzzing if I was him, 100%.
Yeah.
Who else was I going to mention?
It was actually a punter drafted this year.
Was it?
Yeah.
They usually get picked up in like after.
Yeah, no, the Steelers drafted one, 254th pick.
Also, another winner in my eyes was the LA Rams because they got rid of that garbage QB and got an actual half decent one of maths. Loser, Detroit Lions, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I wonder how they found their nice little like.
Did you see it on the draft night?
Yeah.
The Malibu pad they had. They had a goat in it.
Oh.
Well, and it wasn't even a goat. No, it was a goat.
It must have been a
It was
ram.
a goat, wasn't it? A ram.
Was it a ram?
It was a ram.
I swear that. Yeah, I was saying, it must have been a ram.
It was
But I'm
a ram.
sure they said it was a goat, but it can't have been. But yeah, they said a random ram running around at their house. And they had a picture of a framed picture of the commissioner, Roger Goodell, on the back. Did you see that?
Cracked me up. It was framed on the wall.
Imagine that house, though. Imagine going there all day. That the house, it was just a joke.
You see the chair that they brought?
Yeah.
They brought the leather chair back
Yeah,
onto stage. Big news though. Apparently that leather chair might not be the actual leather chair, which was upsetting some people. Apparently, some people with some very mean eyes have managed to notice that the chair isn't quite the same.
Quite as worn as much.
So it could be a replica chair. Big
What
news.
made me laugh, obviously, it was so nice to have fans back at the draft this year and actually be at an event this year. But
I missed last
yeah,
year.
I was watching. They were showed little highlights of the one last year, and it made me die. I was watching some of the. Obviously, Roger Goodell. We'd go to him near his screen in his basement, and he'd be reading out who, and then sometimes to change it up, it got later in the first round, and it was like it went to him, and he was like laying right back, chill in his chair, but uncomfortable as fuck, and he was just like, so they pick so and so, and he was like, it was so scripted, and you could tell he just didn't want to be sat in that chair.
Wasn't that the Jacksonville pick? Wasn't
It may have been, but he was just laid so awkwardly in this chair with his feet up in a suit. I was like, oh god, they've just done him dirty.
I just missed that because it was almost like when we were watching it as well. Obviously, they had sort of prepared for it, but it was almost like you wanted something to go wrong because it just made it hilarious.
Yeah.
Like you were just sat there like, oh, there's something, please give me some crazy technical issue. Like,
I think the bit that made me laugh was that it was during our pick was the band that was on had started playing a Sweet Caroline as the
this year.
Yeah, this year. Right, this year as the commissioner started walking up to the podium, and he stood there and started speaking, and the band kept playing. So he then just kind of stood there and looked round at them, and then the crowd started singing because the chorus come on, and he tried to conduct them. I was just like, this is so cringy.
God. They did try and turn it into a bit of a concert, didn't they?
Yeah.
Speaking of concert, I was kind of disappointed in the Kings of Leon. I don't think. Well, I watched it on Sky
They
Sports.
played one song, I think.
Yeah, they didn't really get much coverage.
They played one song and you didn't hear it because they were just in the studio talking.
Yeah, I was a little bit gutted with
that was it.
Yeah, the Kings of Leon.
Because I know you were absolutely delirious seeing that they were going to be opening this.
Yeah, it's buzzing.
Plays one song.
Didn't really see much.
No.
They panned to him and they were playing Sex on Fire, which is probably what everyone expected because one of their well-known songs.
Didn't want to hear that.
And then every time they were playing like some of the good songs, if you're a fan, they were just in the studio. Daniel Jeremiah talking about Trevor Lawrence. But yeah.
Well, I think it was good. I mean, I in terms of watching it, I did prefer watching last year, but that's just 'cause it was hilarious. Yeah, I think we've sort of covered as much as we can with the draft. We could probably keep on talking, to be fair, about it in terms of we have admittedly skipped a few guys in the.
Shout out to them guys.
Yeah, shout out to the guys. It's just otherwise we will be here. We have been talking.
You don't want to hear us waffling.
We've actually been talking about the draft. This is actually quite impressive for us. We've been talking about the draft for 47 minutes.
And sound like we know what we're talking
And
about.
sounded like we know what we're talking about.
I hope you're impressed.
Yeah.
The American listeners over there.
It's like, God, yeah, they just... ESPN has done wonders for them.
I'm on Wikipedia as well.
Oh, yeah, Wikipedia. And the NFL's actual website.
I'd just like to know. I'd like to say that I just know the facts.
You are the fact man.
We've revised this.
I mean,
Yeah.
Last time we actually just made you do the draft.
Yeah, you were drafting.
You just sat there and literally knocked up a mock
Shit.
draft in
I
about
knew
half
two
an
right.
hour.
Let's actually see who I got. So I knew the first two were going to go the way they did, but I was just always big on Zach Wilson. So I put in one, Trevor Lawrence 2, so obviously that didn't happen. I put actually Mac Jones go to the 49ers. That didn't happen. And I did put like a weird smiley face next to it. I put Trey Lance going to the Falcons, and I put in brackets back up to Matt Ryan. Didn't happen. I got Jamar Chase to the Bengals.
Yep.
That happened. I put Kyle Pitts going to Miami. Didn't happen. Penei Sewell to the Lions. That happened. J.C. Horn to the Panthers, that happened, and then I put Rashawn Slater to the Broncos, and then Patrick Surtain to the Cowboys. That didn't happen either.
So you got 3 out of the top 10.
3 of 10.
To be fair,
Terrible.
30%.
I mean, Mel Kiper's last drafts have been horrendous, and he's meant to be the main draft guy for ESPN, and he's got them so wrong recently. So he might get hired by ESPN.
Yeah, you got 30%. Third right. You can't really
30%. What's that in
Happy with that?
in a university? Oh no.
Mate, I didn't go to university.
Yeah, but they get I had to Google this the other day because I was trying to figure out what you get for a first and all this stuff, and it's for a 2-1, it's 70% or something.
Yeah, I think my old man got 68% and he's got a 2-1.
Yeah, crazy.
So I was like,
Hey, who cares? Anyway, side note. Right, I don't know about you guys, but I need a wee.
Oh, okay.
So we'll resume, but for the lovely listeners, it will be so buttery smooth. But with us, nothing is smooth because nothing tends to work on the computer, or it's user error, which is probably me. Be right back. And just like that, I'm back. That was a satisfying wee. But to the listener, I did it in no time. So, and in that time, I got drinks and crisps.
To the listener, you were like an F1 driver where you did it at work. You just did it during it and got on with it.
Just went for it.
It was like that.
Like in your own piss.
Yeah, it's smelly in here.
I thought there was a funny smell coming.
Cool. So we draft has been. Should we talk about the draft again? No. The news, which we usually start with, and actually we've got news to talk about this time because we've been away for so long.
I've got 5 bullet points.
Oh my god, 5! Last time we had
work he's ever done.
I mean, if someone wants to see Reese's pad, it's just lots of squiggles. You look like you've been stuck in prison for a very long time, and you're just
You took that long taking a piss. We were.
Yeah. I was going to say, you know where I work. It's like a prison.
Aaron.
Oof.
You done messed up, Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Please, anyone who gets that reference, just let us know.
Oh, that's such a great scene. I watched that just to put a smile on my face. Jay Quillen. Yeah, what's going on there? This is madness.
I mean, this was
broke.
Draft day.
Day.
This was literally I think I remember getting from work and my phone lighting up about Aaron Rodgers had demanded to leave. And it was in the group chat, and Joel sent it through to the podcast, Instagram, and it was everywhere. And it almost took over draft day for the pre-draft build-ups.
It did. All of a sudden, everyone was like, what the Packers are going to do, what they're going to do. I mean, the Packers notoriously never seem to draft anybody offensive or any sort of targets. They always seem to draft defensive players, but...
Other than last year when they messed up.
Oh yeah, last year when they traded up to get Jordan. Did you see that video I sent you earlier today?
I did, yes.
No, I've not seen it.
It was not much. That's the thing.
Oh, I saw it. It was like his highlights. I was like, I'm not sure he took a snap, did he?
It's 36 seconds of Jordan Love highlights, and it's just half that video is him getting drafted, and there's just a clip of him at camp just throwing a ball, and it's like done.
I'm surprised they haven't played him a little bit more.
They've put
him that bad of a QB coming out of.
I mean, if I was Aaron, I would have been pissed then,
yeah, because
of what happened, and then obviously he played brilliantly and then got MVP deservedly. So
he's you know what, he's played the game that I expect Cam Newton to play, in the sense that he made it aware he wasn't happy. He went and played out of his skin, and not the fact that he isn't an MVP caliber player. But he went and bossed it, and now he's like, I'm going to stitch you up on a big day now and say, what are you going to do?
That is Aaron. I watch a lot of the.
It's so passive aggressive almost.
I watch a lot of the Pat McAfee show, and he was. I mean, I've not watched as much of it recently, or listened to it. And at one point, he was a bit of a regular because he's good friends with AJ Hawk, ex Green Bay Packers player, and they actually meet up still now, and AJ doesn't play anymore. And I think I remember that last year's draft, he was on the Pat McAfee show before, and they were talking to him. And, this is before anything they knew about Jordan Love, and they was that he was like, yeah, it'd be nice to get some targets, all that stuff. And they're like, you looking forward to it? He's like, yeah, I'm buzzing, and all this sort of stuff. And then that happened, and they were like, should we try and call him? They were like, no, we can't call him. But it was just mental, and And yeah, like every time he's been on that show,
Bad seems to happen.
no, well, no. Every time he's been on that show, he's just like going back to what you were saying, Reese, is he doesn't really care about like.
You get that feeling that he doesn't.
Like he obviously cares about the game. He plays the game brilliantly.
He
and all that
cares
stuff.
about Aaron Rodgers, doesn't he? That's his
Yeah,
thing.
but he's just so like he's like him doing like Jeopardy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
He's a really nice guy. He doesn't care for these owners. He's like, screw it, if I'll screw you if you throw me under the bus, I'll throw you under the bus, kind of thing. That's the vibe I get.
He's got more on them than they've got on him.
Oh, 100%.
Because if he leaves,
I want him to leave.
about it.
I want him to leave.
Yeah, the Packers are not. They're not going to be a garbage franchise, but then they're going to be even close to where they are.
No.
I think the thing is that
he holds them.
He knows his worth. He knows how good he is. He knows his worth, and he knows the fact that if he walks out on them, someone's going to snap him up.
It's just to the UK listeners, to swapping it round to like English football, it's kind of in a sense like Harry Kane. The sense of he's the best player they have. He wants to leave because he wants to better himself. Because let's be honest, they get close. They get close all the time, Green Bay, but they always fall short. And they just don't ever seem to do anything to get good players around him. Obviously, they got Devontae Adams, who was class, but that's it, really. That's of note that you're like, what, they can actually. It's the same kind of with Tottenham in the sense of they don't really ever sign anyone to help him.
What do you think of Tottenham?
Exactly. So in that sense, it's kind of
got lovely ground now.
They're kind of similar. So I just feel like, and obviously Harry Kane wants to leave now. So it's come all
Great point, the ground.
kind of like full circle, isn't it? Really, in the sense of
Well,
great players.
When if actually by
knowing their
selling
worth and
him,
wanting
they
to go.
pay off some of the stadium costs.
Stadium debt.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, you're right. I think Harry Kane is a very good
Comparison.
Very good comparison.
Future NFL kicker,
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he wants to leave. Aaron Rodgers, I'll swap with you.
He
can be the striker.
for the Packers.
You go and play for the Spurs, mate.
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Tottenham Hotspurs. You guys got to stop butchering these accents because we got listeners and they're going to
Love
all these
us,
different
don't
states now. It was just Texas because of our
I don't prefer
our
an English
connections.
accent, not when we try and mimic theirs.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you seen the other country? Sorry, this is completely off topic. Have you seen the other country? I was standing here
Was
the
one
other
of them
day.
Colombia?
So we've got
Afghanistan, I saw.
Colombia, China, and Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Right?
Bangladesh.
We've got like singular.
Thank goodness for Bangladesh.
China, there was 3 listeners. Colombia and Bangladesh, there was 2 each, or something like that. So we are Mr. Worldwide.
We are worldwide now.
We are Pitbull.
We are Pitbull. We're going to shave our heads and like put big sunglasses
Big
on.
spectacles. Yeah, that was completely off topic, but
I'm ashamed if we feature in your podcast. Yeah, can we feature in someone's podcast?
we are a worldwide prospect.
True Pitbull style. We will feature. I've lost my train of thought now.
We were talking about Spurs and then we butchered
AA
accents.
Rod. Yeah, butchered accents and AA1. Yeah, no, I'd love to see him leave. But the only but who's going to be able to afford him in terms of what they can give? Like, I saw something on Instagram. I saw something on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, and it was like, obviously the Broncos are probably the biggest sort of favourites for him to where he could go, and I think, whether it's true or not, he said he'd like to go there. However,
why do you want to go to Denver Broncos?
I know exactly what you got going on there. But
I mean,
the potential picks that Denver would have to give was something stupid. It was like first round next year, second round next year, then second round the year after, and then third round, then another second round the year after that, or third round the year after that. And it's like, God, that is a lot.
He's not going to be last in that.
It's one of those things
picks.
like. If you are the Denver Broncos, do you take that risk in the sense of you're getting one of the GOATs who could potentially come in and maybe even Peyton Manning it in the sense because they have
Obviously what the Bucks did.
Yeah, because they've got, let's be real about it, they've got 2 or 3, maybe even 4 sort of B+ to A grade sort of wide receivers and weapons to him.
Peyton Manning went there and basically got them a Super Bowl.
Exactly. I feel like if that was to happen, it could be the same sort of scenario.
The thing is, though, didn't Peyton Manning go there as a free agent?
Yeah, that's different.
So he didn't cost them anything. But
how long has Aaron Rodgers got left on his contract?
You know, I don't actually know. Find out. But yeah, like I'd love him to go, but I can't see any team or such franchise affording him in terms of what they can give.
If we're going to like what things would look like, I'm not sure he'd look good in Denver colours.
Nah.
You're so used to seeing him in the green and
Who
the
does?
yellow.
Bright orange.
Yeah.
Oh, you're some.
Peyton Manning looked good.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, anything's better than Drew Lock at the minute. Let's be real.
That's so
I could
true.
probably do it better than Drew Lock.
He's
Drew Lock needs some help.
contracted until
no.
2024.
Oh, good
where he'll
lord.
be 41.
Oh, good.
Contract. His current contract's on a 4-year, $134 million contract. $57.5 million signing bonus, $98.7 million guaranteed.
And didn't they try and give him more money?
Yeah.
I heard rumours that they were trying to
And he wants more money.
Reneg, yeah.
I know you're class, but fuck me. You ain't
That's a lot of
TB, you
dough.
ain't TB, mate. Like, Christ.
I was about to say, can we
And-
compare this to Tom Brady's contract?
And didn't Tom Brady just take a cut?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady's
I
contract.
know you know your worth.
He
and-
took a
and-
cut and bought a new super yacht.
Yeah. I know you-
Tom Brady's contract's only $25 million. So that's someone who's just happy to play the game to play the game.
He's made.
I think-
Tom's got his money, and he's going to
He's
have
got
his
his
money
money.
even after the game.
And he's going to have
He's got his
NFTs.
Oh, yeah.
As we spoke on
Oh,
last
his
time.
NF.
His NFTs.
That still don't make sense to me whatsoever.
But, I mean, his contract goes through till he's 49 in 2023, so, you know. If it goes
It's not
full
looking
length.
good for Aaron, is it?
I can see
if you
it.
don't want to be there, and
yeah.
you're on a contract till 2024, you're going to have to need a team that's willing to give up probably 2 years worth of decent picks for
I can see it. If he was to go there, I can see him actually doing quite well at the Broncos.
Oh, yeah, so good.
It's just whether it does.
Yeah.
I honestly think he'll be there. I think he'll have another year.
I'd love to see him in Oakland.
Oh,
Oakland. I'm so used to calling it Oakland.
But then I was
Las
literally about
Vegas,
to
sorry.
say, you said if there's a team, they're probably the only team that would be like, at this, we're going to try and get A-Rod. We're going to scrape you everything.
Imagine him in the silver and black. Oh no, Reese is like
I'd
cringing in
lose
the
every
corner.
piece of respect for him I've ever had.
That's right, he gets a free DJ booth, mate.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
probably name one after it.
That takes us on to our next piece of news.
What is
What a transition that is.
Yeah, what a smooth, slick transition.
The Raiders nightclub.
For
He's in the end zone.
for Derek Carr to knock out some bartenders and
Poor girl.
yeah, she's delivering a bottle of
Touchdown.
champagne.
Oh no, sorry, wrong person. got it.
42 seated six nightclub booths that seat 42 people total. 2 DJ booths. Las
Two
Vegas.
DJ booths. Why do you have two DJs playing different songs?
Axel and Grosso.
Teams.
Yeah,
teams,
but as it-
Set up for Swedish House Mafia
I mean,
set up.
teams crap.
Yeah, they've got to have some entertainment.
Interception. Let's turn round.
Yeah, let's watch this free.
Yeah, two DJ booths.
Martin Garrix's set.
Drinks. Oh, great news.
Phone's flying.
Drinks.
Didn't realise it was on there.
Girls and drinks and
TVs and all sorts.
TV screens and luxury.
Don't get me wrong, it looks fucking cool, but
It looks great.
so unnecessary in an end zone.
Oh, the thing is,
So unnecessary.
is it bad of me to think that the kind of people that are going to be in there, the kind of people that aren't actually interested in watching football?
Yeah. Do you know what?
Well, yeah.
The
You
reason
don't go to Las Vegas to watch football, really, do you? You go to bet and get drunk. Do you not
and
wanna
go to pool parties and go and see shows and
let's go and watch
showgirls.
American
And
football. It's not really
Well,
a
I
thing
think,
that
I
would be
think
in
the
itinerary.
market there is
People would go to see the stadium, not necessarily the
this
team.
is what I was saying. This wouldn't be happening if what you said. Raiders were still at Oakland. No one goes to Oakland for that kind of experience.
If you're still in Oakland,
better afford it,
they
would
would have stolen the
No.
decks.
Exactly.
You get in the morning and be like, where's my booth's gone?
My gosh, play it off your phone.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to go and have a pool party style experience, minus the pool obviously, but that experience, right?
Mate, it's
In
the
a
Raiders. They
sport-
could have a pool there.
in
Not
a
put it in the middle of the
sports arena.
They
field.
probably do.
They're probably better in a pool than they are on the field anyway. So, honestly, yeah, they're just at the current moment they're becoming a meme.
Haven't they got the opening game? No, they haven't got
Nah,
it.
that's Dallas and
We've got a pretty game away
Dallas
to
Bucks.
the Bucks.
Oh.
but they're just becoming a meme.
I can't remember if we're. No, I think the Ravens actually got the Raiders' first game. That might be it. I think it. Let me. I did see. I think the Ravens might have the Raiders' first game at home in LV, but I just think it's just
horrendous.
hilarious. I just thought this idea of just
Yeah,
these
Ravens at Raiders, 14th of September.
yeah, this idea of there being a DJ like, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like I understand maybe having it inside for like afters.
Yeah.
For like after the game, everyone goes and has like an after party, but
I just hate them. Honestly,
I know you're
I
going
hate
to
them.
go. Just every time I was like, I understand this, and you look over like,
No.
I still don't
I
understand it.
don't. No, I don't. Because, right, you know what? If they were like, we're getting rid of the stadium announcement kind of setup, and we're having a DJ, and it's going to be like almost like in an NBA game where you've got a lot of entertainment in between quarters and it breaks. Yeah, I'm like, I've got respect for that, and I get it. That is just. Oh yeah, no, it's just great.
It's just a business venture, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, the Vegas thing
nothing
is-
to do with the necessarily the fans or the players. It's just
hairdressers on site.
Probably, yeah. Hairdressers.
Probably
I mean,
have.
they need
One.
They need one, yeah.
It's like
Get that bonnet
it's like
chopped.
Bayern Munich though in football. I'm pretty sure in their training ground they've got a bar for when they have their fest when they dress up and.
You
they
think
have, like,
Bayern Munich have a bar?
Yeah, in their training ground for when what we class as
Lederhosen.
Oktoberfest. Whatever that's
Yeah.
called.
That
Like-
is October.
It is
Oh, is that what it's called over there? Oh,
What we call Oktoberfest, George, is what the Germans call Oktoberfest, and that's where it comes from.
Oktoberfest is the German festival.
Oh, okay.
We just copy it.
Yeah. Well, that. When they dress up in whatever they fucking dress up in.
Lederhosen.
That's one. And they have these
God,
massive.
life's an education.
Yeah, these massive drinks. What are they called?
Steins of beer.
Steins of beer. And it's filled with this. It's filled with like this golden neck stuff. What's that called?
Beer. Oh, that was class.
But yeah, they've got one in their training ground. But then you think it's one of those things. When you think of that, you don't really think that's a joke or a laugh, do you? Really, in the sense of they
The
have
fact
like,
that you thought Oktoberfest was British, but it was a good laugh.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was. I just generally thought it was something else. I thought
We
it
have
was
this
something else.
German-inspired festival. It's called Oktoberfest. It happens in October.
It
no.
doesn't actually happen in.
No.
Is it September? End of September?
It goes from September through to October.
Yeah, but no, you're right. Sorry, we were
Yeah,
laughing at you too much there. But yeah,
Yeah, but do you know, it just seems normal because it's German, doesn't it?
yeah, the Germans, they just love their beer. I mean, I actually love the fact when every time they win the
The
league,
trophy, they don't have champagne. They
they
give
have
massive steins each.
like those big boots, isn't it, of
Yeah.
beer, and you got Aaron Robin like drinking it.
Yeah, and
like,
they isn't it? Oh, who was it? Was it Rebury? Because he's Muslim, isn't
Rebury?
he?
Oh, yeah.
So he's not having alcohol, and you had like players chasing him with beer, trying to like pour over him.
it's just so much
It's
wrong.
crazy, but yeah, no, that they can get in the bin.
Going back to the Raiders. So yeah, your favourite team. Go there, have a party, and then continue the party.
Watch garbage football.
Maybe they thought they're going to have a DJ deck because it's not worth watching the football, so you might as well just watch the DJ.
Fair play, I agree.
Yeah.
On to games you do want to watch. London.
The London games, yes. Have you actually got them on screen? Because I don't.
I have them here. So on the 10th of October,
Jets, innit? Jets.
you got Falcons versus the Jets. So your boy Zach is going to be in the
go
UK.
to that one.
Oh, I reckon we go.
I want to see Zachy
Yeah, I
Wilson
think
in
we should
action. The class.
Oh,
Joel Wells was tapping me up about
And who?
going
The
to
Falcons?
You've got Falcons.
Oh, and it's Carl Pitts as well.
Carl
That'd be
Pitts.
class.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is creaming himself there.
That's actually
Carl
carpets.
Or Jags on the 17th with the Dolphins.
Jags, that'd be a good one.
Jags Dolphins.
Trevor Lawrence.
Jags Dolphins. I like that actually. Jags Dolphins. That'd be a good one to watch.
George has to see Zach. He's gonna like.
Yeah.
He's gonna get his.
Yeah, I
He's
think
gonna get his Jack shirt.
If I had to think it's a tough choice, I'd happily go to both. But I think if I had to choose, if I had a gun to my head, it's Jacksonville and
Jacksonville
and
and
mine.
Dolphins.
There isn't. You're going to the Jets game.
There's not a gun to your head. There's a gun under the table, and it's going to shoot.
Usually George is good. Hi Zach.
Watch him be injured. Watch him be fucking injured.
But yeah, London games.
Is it just the two announced so?
2, and they're both.
There's usually four, isn't there? Or
There
three?
is, but because there's usually 4, so usually do.
Back in the
it
day, there used to be one, and then it was two, and then.
it was meant to be 4 in previous years. They've cancelled the Mexico game this year because they've been doing a Mexican game as well.
Yeah, they always do. Yeah, they do one in London, one in Mexico.
They
There's always one in Mexico, and there's like 4 in the UK.
Yeah, cancelled the Mexico one because of COVID. But
I heard about this COVID. What's this all about? I'm joking.
But both at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so they're leaving Wembley alone this time.
Oh, really? To be fair, I don't blame them. When I went there to watch,
Well, it's
the Bears-
purpose built for NFL, isn't it?
Oh,
They've got. I'm pretty sure the stadium, like the grass, like it's almost on like a weird conveyor belt
Yeah, it
thing.
does.
Like it comes off
Yeah.
and like Astro comes on.
But no, but it is the UK's only NFL purpose built stadium.
so rather than it
It
being
doesn't look
like,
very NFL-y, doesn't it? When you see it,
like unlike the Wembley where they just sort of make do, and then like a week later, there's football players playing on the pitch, and it's like, oh my
And
god,
there's still lines painted on
There's
it.
still lines painted on it. It just
Yeah,
looks
it's garbage,
horrendous.
right.
Like this
like
thing
an FA
is
Cup
slick.
final, like, oh god, there's an end zone. It says
Like-
like Jacksonville.
Oh, good. Like I remember watching a time lapse of them just putting it together, and it's unreal. Like literally, you just see the whole
Roll it
the
out.
whole floor just moves, and like they put it does. When I went to watch
Almost like
there,
an underground pool opening, isn't it? Where you see this kind of thing move across. And
next level. Do you want to see my underground football pitch? But yeah, like the actual stadium itself. I mean, I hate Spurs. Don't get me wrong. I think they're just they're just a nothing team.
They're the Raiders of English
They are
football.
the Raiders of English football.
Stadium shit team.
Huh?
Good stadium shit team.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They are the Raiders of English football.
They are the Raiders of English football. That is our quote of the day. The Raiders of English football is Tottenham Hotspur. But yeah, so yeah, crap team. But their stadium's awesome, and like the whole, it is very American. And from going to being in American stadiums, like for example, when I was in Atlanta and I was at the Falcons Stadium, it was very similar in the way it was.
Did you go to America?
I did. 3 months actually. I'll have you know. Do you know where I went? No. But like comparing it, like when I went there after, I was like, this is so because English football stadiums are very traditional.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them, you know what they're like. But
you go to Wembley and it's very. This sounds stupid. It's very football. Like the whole, even outside of it, you go inside the stairs on the way up, like the bars. It is very football inspired. So when me and my old man went to watch Dallas versus Jacksonville years back when Dallas come over, and we got him tickets and we both went. It was class. I wouldn't change anything for it, but obviously it was very it was at Wembley, so it was this is class, but it's very footbally.
Yeah,
it wasn't American football, if you know what I mean.
But yeah, I'd recommend anybody go to the Spurs ground, as much as that pains me to say it, but it's good. Carry on, so
Completely irrelevant to what we're talking about now, but joining on to what you said about
joining
on about you being in Atlanta and American sports stadiums.
Yes.
Did you see the Atlanta Hawks arena? So the State Farm Arena.
Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, for NBA.
I'm afraid you're talking to one person. I don't know
No,
much about NBA.
So, but their arena is the same building as the CNN headquarters in Atlanta.
It?
Yeah. So we
walked past CNN headquarters so many times.
Yeah. So that building, you go in the left, you go in the CNN, you go into the right, you go in to watch a basketball game.
God, you'd be loving life if you work for CNN.
Yeah, honestly.
You just go to a game after work.
We went in there.
I mean, they probably got free.
No, it wouldn't.
But when we were there, we
are they
went
not
in.
any good?
Look at one good player.
When we were there, we went in, and it is a case of you go left and you're going into CNN. You go right and you're into the Hawks.
They must get free tickets, guys, and
Yeah,
CNN.
imagine
I thought so, yeah.
You would have thought so, 100%.
But yeah,
That's
it was
weird.
just,
I did not
you said
know. I
that,
did not
and
read. Well, there you go.
You said that you
live
said
and learn.
Atlanta.
Speaking of
wasn't
Atlanta
it?
as well, their soccer team had a full capacity stadium the other day.
Did they?
I believe it was
What,
close
in the
to,
Mercedes-Benz?
Like, yeah, Mercedes-Benz. It was like 60,000, I think, 70,000.
Do you think they were massively pushing it when
And
I
it
was
looked unreal. It looked so unreal. I was like, I can't wait for that to happen in obviously back over here. In all sports really.
Yeah, Anton Hawks fans. Is he still there?
Yeah, Anton Hawks.
He's still there.
That's the picture I saw on Instagram. He put a picture up. I was like,
He's been poppy, right back.
They had a full stadium. I was like, oh good.
What, he
He was
plays
like,
for Atlanta
United, yeah.
they signed him
he-
from there and then he went back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
Go on, Walksy.
Yeah, they were pushing it massive when I went on the tour.
Yeah.
They like went they did like a soccer bit, and some guy who he literally came out. He was like the soccer man, and came out and spoke about it. And like me and Callum were the only ones on the thing that were actually interested because we're English.
Yeah, take your chance like Seattle, like.
No.
Let's go
They just
Seattle.
they just
Fight
asked
and
us
win.
who the best goalkeeper was, who the best American goalkeeper.
Casey Keller.
And
Brad Friedel.
Yeah, I was like shouting Brad Friedel. Like, no.
Tim Howard.
Yeah, Tim Howard. I said Tim Howard.
Casey Keller.
And all these Americans were like, no, I don't know. And then they pulled out Brad Guzan, and I was like,
Oh yeah, he plays for them.
I was like, Brad Guzan is good, but he's not the best
Villa flop.
American.
The Villa flop, yeah.
No, because
He plays for them.
When I was in there, they went, "Here, Brad Guzan." And I went, "Oh, Villa legend."
Brad Guzan.
But yeah, so we digress.
It's football, but the wrong kind.
I think our listeners would enjoy it.
Yeah, you know us rambling.
We ramble on about nothing. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I rambled about going for a toilet for about 15-20 seconds. So.
Yeah, this is true.
This is true.
Then took 15-20 minutes.
Final bit of our news though is
I hope it's what I'm looking at.
tight ends.
Yes.
The newest tight end.
Newest tight end.
You can't put a space in between
I
that.
wonder how tight he is in the end. Who knows? Big double T. Tim
Tebow.
Timmy
Tim
Tebow.
Tim
Tebow.
Tebow's like
Tim
Timmy
Tebow.
Tebow, the tight end and the touchdown.
Tim Tebow. What do we think?
I mean, I don't really.
I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know who the geezer is.
You don't know who he is?
No, I don't.
What?
I was sat there and over my big fuss, I was like, who the fuck is this bloke, bruv?
Wow.
So it's in
So I
quarterback
won't
and
lie.
religious kind of.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
I won't lie, I've not seen. I didn't. When he was a quarterback, I wasn't really watching much of the game, so I couldn't really say much on that. But I know who he is. And the whole
Did you see that there's a huge kick up? As in from actual players about him coming back in.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
they were
and
like,
how Colin Kaepernick isn't back in, but Tim Tebow is.
Yeah, and Des Bryant. He's not re-signing with the Ravens, is he?
Yeah.
People like that are actually half decent.
But not about that. But
yeah, Des Bryant, I think, put out a tweet saying if he comes back, then like what the hell?
the game's gone.
Yeah, the game.
Yeah, I mean it's because of the coach really.
It's
Isn't it?
because he was the coach of the Gators and he used to play for the Florida Gators.
And he was loved.
he
He's
was
literally
loved.
a god.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, though, he's a QB. He's going as a tight end. You're never going to
Yeah,
play.
but you look at him though. He doesn't look like
Yeah,
a quarterback.
he's
He looks like a
big,
tight end, doesn't he?
He wasn't a good quarterback, to be fair.
No, he wasn't a good quarterback.
So maybe tight end. He's found.
You know what?
Didn't he go and play baseball?
Yeah, he played baseball. He got drafted. I think he actually was He was drafted first for baseball, then drafted for the NFL. Played in the NFL, quit the NFL, then went back to baseball,
I mean, fair play to him.
and then became some like religious madman. But
No, he was always a religious madman. So I remember coming out, he'd always have his his under eye
Was it the crucifix?
black stick. He'd either have the crucifix or he'd have like Philippians 3:18, or he'd have like different religious passages written on his face to go out and play. I'll show you. I'm not bannering. He literally would come out with.
Sounds like a weirdo, mate.
he does, doesn't he?
Tim Tebow.
I'd like to thank the Lord and the Holy Jesus for this game.
And Satan.
Oh, speaking of
And
Jesus,
everyone else.
this is proper like side, like not nothing to do with what we're talking about. But my work email has it's my surname, and then they put Chris, but they've added a T and nothing else. So
John
it's
Christ.
Yeah.
So he comes out with like John 3:16 and
Oh yeah.
all religious kind of passages on his face.
He looks like a school shooter, doesn't he? Wow! He does. He looks horrible.
Good Lord.
Do you know what? He for me, he looks like I shouldn't say it, he looks like a typical American. He just looks.
Oh, be careful what you say there.
Yeah, no. What I mean, you know that stereotypical.
I said school shooter, and you said a typical American. I was like, oh dear.
I mean, Americans think we have bad teeth. I think we look like Austin Powers. So
This is true. Yeah, exactly. So we can get away
Right
with
back
it.
at us, yeah.
I mean, you can't get away with saying a school shooter, but we've said it now. We've got like a bleep machine.
this 62% American listeners is
Going back to
dropping massively.
0.6.
Yeah.
We need to get a bleep
I'm
machine.
sure they'd agree with me. If they were to search him up and the picture you've just shown.
I'm sure they know who he is. They're not.
Yeah, they're not like me, who have no idea who the bloke was.
I don't know who he was. He might be right. I think, for me, I think he actually might be okay. I don't know. I mean,
To be fair,
The thing is,
no
no
one's
going to know how he's
I
going
don't
to
know
play.
too much,
do
but I
they?
don't feel like he'll play a great deal, to be honest.
See, I think he will, but I don't think anyone's going to know
I don't
how he
blame.
plays.
I don't blame the head coach. Like, if you've got a guy that you know who played, and you know he can play, and he's still an athlete, and he's open saying to you, "I'd like to get back into the game," and you're sat there with 10 odd draft picks and done really well in the draft. It's like, well, what have I got to lose? I can't offer you a big contract. And he's probably sat there going, "Don't need a big contract. I'll do." He's probably, and it's like, what are we going to lose? Don't have to play him.
Just chance it, don't you?
You're playing with him in practice, give him a few games. If he's good, he'll stay.
It's those kind of punts that actually, as a coach, earn you your crust. Because if that comes off, you look like the best there's been in the
What's the
business.
worst going to happen? You just get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the kind of guy that hold a grudge at the coach. If you just get rid of him, what are you going to lose?
Jesus forgive.
He's not.
Jeebus.
Jeebus
Jeebus.
316.
Isn't that Stone Cold? Austin 316. Yeah, it's gone over your head.
That's gone straight over my
that
head.
reference has gone over your head.
It has.
So
So attentive. What else? I think there's anything else.
that was it on the news.
Well,
we kind
there
of
probably
covered it,
is
isn't it?
more on the news, but
Well, we had another one which was the Packers 2 QB draft with Jordan Love, but we covered that in the AA rod bit. So
wrong.
Drafted 2 other QBs.
No, I'm just quickly browsing. I don't think there's anything massive. It's all just sort of post-draft stuff. There you go. What's gone wrong between Rodgers and the Packers? A lot.
they've drafted quarterbacks when he asked them to get him some weapons.
Yeah, exactly that. Reese has now put together for us a YouTube channel. I don't know what we're going to film just yet, though, Reese. I don't think me and George even knew about it. And then you were like, yeah, YouTube channel. We're like, okay, cool. But yeah, go and
it was
subscribe.
one of those. So we've set a YouTube channel up. All of the podcasts are on there.
Are they?
Yeah,
I've not even looked.
all 5 podcasts are on there. I've made a thumbnal for each individual one. So
I'm
they're all
assuming
on
it's just
there.
our logo.
It's our logo and it says episode, what episode it is. So it's a whole
Probably
thing
go
through it.
subscribe.
Probably should.
Long story short, I've spent a lot of money on Adobe's Premiere software, so I was like, I'm going to put it to use. It's for a different project.
Sorry, do we owe you some money?
No. This is for a different. It's for a different project. So I was like, I might as well put it to use for the podcast. But yeah, so all the podcasts will also be uploaded to there.
That we could have those subscribers, and we could have an office, and we could have it.
Exactly.
Oh God, what a world that would be!
Like PFT Live.
Oh, imagine
TMD Live.
TMD
Live.
live.
TMD
That
Live.
sounds sick. TMD live. Boys, it's going. We're going.
But yeah, so we're gonna look at doing some little behind the scenes clips, kind of in coming podcasts. So you can see how we do or don't prepare for each
And see our
recording
beautiful
session.
faces, maybe.
Yeah, little intro
We
on
should
each of us.
if we get that going, we should definitely all sit in jerseys.
Yeah, definitely. I'm keen.
That'd be
Get the
cool.
balls out.
We definitely need some sort of like.
That needs clarification.
That does need clarification.
It's your
Means
American football album.
As in,
I might.
get the balls
What,
out
my
on the
balls?
table. Yeah, get your
You want
balls
my
on the
you want my,
get your balls
you
on
want
the
my
table.
balls on the table.
So clarification for everyone.
My 2 balls or 3
Chris
balls I got in
has
the
three.
kitchen?
Chris has three footballs.
Chris has 3 balls that he put on the table.
Sound by that.
This is the innuendo special. Chris has 3 footballs that we've occasionally put on the table to set the scene.
Not that you can see it, but
No.
usually Ambo sits there and just plays with them.
Yeah, because there's a Dallas
Good
one.
God.
He
I played
plays
with
with
Chris's-
Chris's Dallas branded ball.
Yes, thank you to the.
Endless
I have a
entertainment.
Dallas Cowboys branded ball.
Oh, what's
Shout out Chris's girlfriend's mum, by the way.
Oh yeah, you've got me it.
Yeah. What a laugh.
But yeah, the key message: go and subscribe to the YouTube. It's on
To the YouTubes.
the
Subscribe
YouTubes.
to the YouTube.
It's on our link. It's on there along with everything else that we've got going on.
Yeah, we could definitely build that. I think we'd get something going with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're going to look at different
Rent
ways to
a
record.
garage somewhere and start recording in a garage.
Very American. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than being a garage band, we're going to be a garage podcast.
God, that works. I like that.
But yeah, go and subscribe.
Yeah.
Give us the joy.
Give us a like and a subscribe.
I mean, I've still subscribed, so that shows how bad. I better.
To be fair, there's 2 subscribers last time I checked. That's
2?
me and Joel Wells, right? Joel Wells is a hero. to this
Joel
podcast.
is.
Right. Joel Wells is more to this
Shout out
podcast
Joel
than you
Wells.
2 have been because you've not subscribed. And big shout out to Joel Wells because he leads us into our next segment, and he's provided the special guest,
On the start bench bin.
SPB for the week.
SBB.
So big shout out to Joel for that.
I hope he's not put like some players I don't know or something like.
Yeah, so he's given us 3 defensive ends.
Oh, that's nice.
No, I'm joking. He's not. He's given us 3 quarterbacks from the draft.
Oh, quarterbacks.
It's a quarterback show.
So the quarterback. Welcome
Yeah,
to the quarterback
Everyone
show.
got a pen ready, so you can write down what you need to.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Zach Wilson.
Oh.
So I'm sure George is already sorted. So yeah, the big shout out thank you to Joel. We obviously we put our questions up and he's come in with an SPB for us. So he's actually given us some content, which is phenomenal because it means we've not had to plan it.
That's perfect.
So yeah, we're actually going to make this a guest segment. If you've got an SPB idea for us, put it in the
That
questions.
does make our lives a lot easier.
Yeah, put it in the questions. Give us an option.
Just give us three players you want
three.
us to.
New or old, past or present, doesn't matter.
It hasn't even got with that. Could be coaches.
Well,
Could
yeah.
be could be anything. Anything you want to do.
Sets of fans.
Send them in.
Stadiums.
Teams, stadiums, conferences.
Yeah.
You can give us anything and we'll work with it. So
However,
yeah.
though, have we been recording who we've binned and all this stuff? Because I feel like this Madden idea of putting them onto a team and simming it and seeing where it comes would be quite cool. You're making faces that definitely hasn't happened.
I haven't done it.
See, I haven't done it either. I don't know why I'm looking at you as if it
Well,
was your job.
we've got our notes from weeks of podcasts, so I'm sure we'll be able to find it. I mean, we know a few of them.
Yeah.
Josh Allen,
Nick Bosa?
Nick Bosa, Kenny Golladay.
Kenny G.
Kenny
Golladay.
G.
Yeah, that's the funniest one. Why'd you put him in there? Well, I don't know as much about him. Kenny G's going in there. Anyway, we digress.
I see Zach Wilson's about to be in there. No, so yeah, go on, Chris. Give us a start.
I can start if you want. If you're stuttering.
Well, no, I am. I'm just looking. I think I know, but I would start Justin Fields. I would just start Justin Fields. I would also bench Zach Wilson and I'd bin Trey Lance.
I just know he ain't going to go in the bin now. I know he ain't going in the bin.
I was like, why is he fist bumping? I was like, oh, because he knows he's definitely not going in the bin. Zach Wilson, don't worry, he's going to be saved and put on the bench. Justin Fields, I feel like I just like him being that sort of mobile quarterback. And Trey Lance, I don't know, I think he's a brilliant player, but like going back to what I said at the beginning of the pod, that I have a feeling it might not work out for him. But now's your time to shine.
G-Man, go on.
Well, we all know, I think everyone knows who my start is, so I'm going to start Zachy Wilson. Zachy W.
Zach his mum.
Yeah. No, each class. For me, I say he's the best. Like, Trevor Lawrence is unbelievable.
Would you have him with Joe Burrow?
Because I love Joey B.
Oh, God, you're like fucking
That's
spanning the
hard.
works.
That's a spanner in the works.
Just
Because I love Joey B.
If you had to only start one, would
Yeah,
you
if-
start?
I've got another one for us for next time.
If you just had to pick one as your QB, who would you pick? No, this is completely off the SVB thing, but
Joey B.
Joey B, yeah. Joey B. Yeah, Joey
We've
B.
seen more of him.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll start Zachy W. I think he's gonna be a sure hit in New York.
New York.
New York. I've gone bench Justin Fields. It was quite close, to be fair, because I am a big fan of Justin Fields. I wasn't, but then I don't know. I just watching some of his highlights.
Mr. Anticlimax.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be part of the Bears.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I think he'll be good. I don't think necessarily he'll start. I think they will start Andy Dalton for a couple of weeks. But inevitably he'll probably fuck up, so they'll probably put him in sooner than later. So yeah, I think Bears have got a class. I think that's a great trade up because they traded up to get him. Quality, I think, for them. And yeah, I've been Trey Lance. I am quite big on Trey Lance, but
Trey Lance is going in the bin
but
already.
I just think, yeah, like you, Jonesy. I think because he didn't play last year, and I think he didn't play the year before because of injury or something. So he hasn't actually snapped a ball in a long time.
One thing I didn't mention with Trey Lance, we're going to remember, is have you looked at the division that he was in?
Yeah, we said that about Zachy Wilson. He was a BYU. I don't think Zach Wilson played a big.
Sorry, I'm just going to.
Big hit. Zach Wilson, the boys.
What did he play?
Missouri Valley.
That was it. If you bring that up,
North Dakota State, wasn't it? Is that where he's from?
yeah, right. And you look at the teams in that division.
Kind of Illinois.
Can you name me a team there that quite often pulls out like top end quarterbacks?
North Dakota State.
So you got, I mean, I've not even heard of half of these. Webster State, Eastern Washington, I'm assuming, UC Davis, Northern Arizona, Montana State. Who comes out of Montana? There's nothing in Montana. Sacramento, Portland, Idaho State and Idaho, Southern Utah. I am looking at like one, aren't I? Oh, no, I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm
So
starting
you've
chatting
got
shit.
Indiana State University, Illinois State University, Missouri State.
Well, still, I'm not looking at it now.
University of North Dakota State, University of Northern Iowa, University of South Dakota State, Southern Illinois, Western Illinois, Youngstown State.
Youngstown. Imagine going there.
Some of the nicknames are horrendous. Sycamores, Redbirds, Bears, that's right. Fighting Hawks, the Bidens,
Fighting Hawks.
which is obviously
Oh,
what Trey
dear.
Lance is a bison. Panthers, Coyotes, Jackrabbits, Salukis, Leathernecks, Penguins. Sound like a...
I don't know. I just look at that. Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. He does alright, but is that a cat?
Yeah.
Oh,
nice family.
meow. Yeah, I look at that and I think, is there any team there that like you compare that to like, hold on, like was it Pac-10 and like all the big ones. Not that I know loads about college football, but I can't even find on it now. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like the ones that are always churning out, like Clemson, Kentucky, Alabama. Well, they're like the proper ones. Like, this is where Trey Lance goes and turns it up.
You're digging out some colleges here.
I know, but like
digging them out big time.
they're like big football universities. But hey, you know, Trey Lance has spoken to. I mean, I'll put it this way: Utah State. I mean, with Jordan Love.
I mean,
Anyways, I'm digressing on
To
on that.
be
But
fair,
yeah.
I mean, I think my one's kind of moot in the sense of who goes where. My version of SBB.
Yeah, it's
so,
void.
I mean,
Well, but you can give your input, and we are the full man draft, so I'm not going to tell you to not talk about it.
I mean, to be fair, my starter's in the bin.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, my starter's in the bin.
And there's me fucking slagging him off.
Yeah, my starter's in the bin.
What kind of confidence is that?
Yeah.
I backed Trey Lance 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks, or 3 pods ago, when I said for me he was my number 2.
To be fair, I think I've already backed him, but then
I think this was before Zach Wilson's draft even picked up, really, which was from I think as we stated, without disrespecting anyone, was from a pro day which they're dead anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, my starter is Trey Lance. I think he's gonna do bits. I actually do see him.
Oh,
I think
I wish him well.
I think Jimmy G's gonna. I see Trey Lance following the tour movement. I think he'll sit back for 6 or 7 weeks, and then
Yeah.
I'm not sure when the 49ers buy is, but I see after that.
What
coming
happens
in.
to Jimmy D? Well, where would he go? Do you think he'd go?
New England.
Well, the thing that's made me think of that is that in the last, I think it was yesterday, 49ers coach has come out and said that we've been honest with Jimmy G from the start. He knows where he stands, and that's why we've drafted where how we have.
Well, I heard that if an offer come in, they'd let him go.
This is
If it was
why I
good
think.
enough, they'd let
This
him
is
go.
why I think Trey Lance will get the opportunity. I'm stuck between. I'm stuck between the other two. I like Justin Fields for movement, and I think he's stronger than Zach Wilson physically. But Zach Wilson as a mobile QB is good, and his arm is phenomenal. So for that, I think.
Well, I think your thing isn't that mute because if I put Justin, I put Justin Fields.
Yeah, but mine would be who would be the starter overall, to be fair, because it's going to be who's got the most votes. But I think just in terms of how they've drafted, I'd say Zach Wilson's on the bench with Justin Fields in the bin.
Interesting.
I mean, it doesn't change anything. Trey Lance is in the bin.
Sorry, Trey.
Well, like we say every week, or every time we do a pod, he's joining a star-studded SBB bin.
Kenny Galladay and Nick Bosa and
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Oh, God.
I was in this position with Josh Allen. I tried to save him, and you two binned him. So
Because I love Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah,
but
he's up.
you had to get rid of one of them.
that's a very interesting
Cool.
story. Thank you very much, Joel. It's
Cheers
a
for
big
that,
shout
Josh.
from
He
me.
will probably be a guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
Which probably isn't one of the questions, actually.
We lead into we've got our questions we always send out or put up, and unfortunately they seem to be declining in the quantity. So please get involved.
Please get involved.
Get active. You know,
And if they're written in Colombian, we can translate.
Yeah.
Google translates the thing. If it's in is Bangladeshi language.
Bangladeshi, yep.
If it's
Is
in
it that?
Bangladeshi, if it's in Colombian, if it's in Chinese, we can copy and paste. We are well versed in that. But yeah, on to questions. We had one which is from Mr. Hampson Senior. We're gonna kind of brief over that because we've gone over it probably in the first full hour of the podcast.
And it's a fat off question, which we probably actually could answer, but it would take us
Another hour. Yeah. So it's which teams had the best draft from each division and why. So we kind of went through a lot of that earlier on. We said who we thought were winners and losers, which I think we went through teams from both conferences and most divisions. And we covered near on every team in the draft, going through the list of them. So we almost kind of covered that for you, Gary. So apologies if you think we've kind of fobbed you off of it, but that's where we're at.
We fobbed you off.
Obviously, Joel's was the SBB. Jack's come in with the grades for our individual 3 teams in the draft. So, how do you think the Cowboys did, George?
Yeah, good.
How would you want to grade it? Do you want to grade it as like A?
Yeah, we'll go A, B. Because that's
A plus, A minus. Yeah.
I'd say.
We're going in depth.
Yeah. Or you can just do A, B, C, but I feel like
Abacada.
it gives you a bit more.
I'd say B minus. Just purely, I would have been a B plus if we had got the Patrick Surtain of the world or the JC Horn, who we wanted like desperately. Again, can't fault Micah Parsons. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he'll be, and I think he'll be a hit. I really do, because he's an absolute animal. And we just addressed, all in all, the defensive side of the ball, which is what we needed to address desperately. So yeah, I'm glad that Jerry Jones actually stuck to his guns and went with defensive players and not fucking go and get like a trade up to get a Kyle Pitts or whatever the talk was before the draft. Something silly.
I was thinking about this when we talk about that. Sorry, I'm sort of butting in here. But when you talk about the Cowboys, you always talk about Jerry Jones, and obviously he's the owner. But you don't often find that with other teams. Like you don't talk about the owner, you talk about the head coach. It's almost like
Or the GM.
or the GM, and you look at.
This
Look
is
at like the Cowboys set when they do like conferences. Jerry sat in the middle.
Well, this is why
and the
I
coach
say
on
to my
the
dad
right.
all the time. It's like
It's
as much as
quite
I'm
easy
grateful
for
for
you.
Jerry Jones and obviously what he's done, he literally has just made the franchise what it is. But I still don't think until he sort of retires or steps back, we won't win a Super Bowl. Because I feel like the coach coaches. Don't get me wrong, but
He has too much of an input.
yes,
He's a
far
very
too much of an
genuine
input. Far too much of an
And he's
input.
he's not a trained coach.
No, he's
is
a
he?
player.
He's a
player,
businessman.
But yeah, exactly that. Don't get me wrong. He absolutely adores the Cowboys.
Of course he does. Yeah.
But yeah, and I've said that to my dad before in the sense of, unless he sort of steps back and lets the coach do the coach job, and sort of take pressure off almost, because I feel like every time he's one of those, like I played football at college, and every time we'd play, the head teacher of the college would always, if it was like an important game, would always come into the changing room, so that then the gaffer would be a bit like, you know, trying to sort of get a team talk out, but then the head teacher would be like, "Oh, I'm so proud," and I feel like that's what Jerry Jones does. I think Mick McCarthy's trying to like get the boys hyped up and talk about players, and I think Jerry's in there like, yeah, like let's go boys, and that's a bit, you know what I mean? I feel like he's always just there.
yeah,
So I think yeah.
Even if when
It's
he
from a good
goes,
place, isn't it? But
Yeah,
it's just, it's the
yeah.
normal thing.
when he
Definitely.
goes, it's gonna the Cowboys will stay in the family, so it'll be another Jones that has it. So
Yeah, like 3 of his sons are
Chris?
already like.
I wish if I could find any sort of close relations like man, I'd be like, yeah, I own the Cowboys.
Chris Jones is the Cowboys.
Yeah, GM,
James Chris Jones.
not GM, sorry, owner. That's
On to Chris Jones. How Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Big trust.
Big. Oh God, we've lost big trust. He's gone to the Texans. It's just gonna be.
Who goes to the Texans?
I know, sad times for him. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. For me, looking at what we had, I was happy with it. In terms of like wide receiver, Odafe Owe.
Good effort.
Yeah, I think I nailed it that time. Ben Cleveland. I would give them a B positive.
Ooh, B plus.
Be positive. Yeah, I'm actually. I wouldn't probably give him an A grade as such, but I don't know. Yeah, what would it take to give him an A grade? I probably don't really know. But looking
Carl Pitts.
Carl Pitts, yeah, another type of thing. We've got good tight end, so we don't really need another tight end. But yeah, B positive. I'm really happy with what they've done. I think they've fitted what we needed in certain places. It would have been nice to have got an offensive tackle in there, but for what we've got, I mean, yeah, like the guard, that Ben Cleveland bloke, I've seen videos of him on their socials, and it looks massive, and he's got like a huge beard. He looks like he just goes and chops wood in like.
Is he a Fitzmagic
Sorry.
for like?
No, I mean, the beard is probably as good, but he's like twice the size of Fitzmagic. He's like this. Speaking of big people, have you seen the Denver Broncos? That belly.
The rookie. Massive.
What is going on there?
The shirt
It looks,
doesn't fit.
it looks pregnant.
He's going to cut a crop top on, isn't he?
But like, it's weird though. Like, it's like it looks solid.
Good with the big belly six pack.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of them, isn't it?
It is. It's like
It's
just
going to be one of them.
yeah. Those shirts don't fit him. But yeah, be positive. Be positive. Let's just be giving motivational talk. Yeah, be positive. Happy with it. And hopefully good things this year. Last year of Lamar won a half affordable contract until it gets to next year, and good lord, could probably cost us a lot of money. But yeah, what about you and the Titans?
The Titans.
For you,
Is it Looney Tunes?
Titans. I know. I heard that
Space Jam team.
Tennessee Titans.
I'm going to C minus.
C minus. Oh, God, scraped a pass.
Yeah, literally.
I was a little bit disappointed in the Titans. I thought they would have strengthened more.
I mean,
Just remind myself.
I think we strengthened really, really well on defense. Like we had to. Last year was appalling. Is the only word to describe it, and we've strengthened in places we needed to, but I don't think we've strengthened in a way of what we had, but we've actually lost a lot of people, so we've not kind of replenished and strengthened. We just
and the fact that you got a wide receiver at the 4th round.
Yeah, so this is my my big thing, and I've made it clear for 2 podcasts in a row and off air with you two was I wanted Elijah Moore. I wanted Elijah Moore. The team wanted Elijah Moore. AJ Brown was very vocal about wanting Elijah Moore, bringing back his Ole Miss alumni into the team. He wanted him as a second wide receiver. We've lost a tight end. I don't think we've got one now. So we currently, as it stands, we've got one out and out wide receiver. We've got a couple that are like potentials. One out and out receiver, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. So
That's all you need though, Derrick Henry.
Well, yeah, it is, but it almost takes what was last year for us, and all the last couple of years was an attacking kind of style where you didn't know what was going to happen because it could be to Henry or you could have 2 or 3 options or Tannehill on the run. Now we've got 2 options, if that. So C- in the sense that I think what we drafted and what we got in free agency was really good, but I don't think it's better than what we already had that we've lost. So
it's a harsh grade, but I think I get you with that. I'm on it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm happy in terms of taking Caleb Farley. It's the point of when we got to the 2nd round and there were quite a good wide receiver bunch still available, and we didn't trade up. We didn't use what we had to get anyone, which is annoying. As you say, drafting in the 4th round and. It is what it is. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. I'm holding no hope for this year.
Really?
Yeah, I see. Now that I'm sat here, I'll take 3rd. Or do that.
Wow.
I see 3rd. I see the Texans at 4th, us 3rd, Jacksonville 2nd, Colts 1st.
No, I think you'll still have too much. Maybe Colts if Wentz hits it off, but I don't think as much as they have a good potential. The Jags, I don't think. The first year anyway, they'll be maybe next year. I think it'll still be
Because I've seen our running as well.
Yeah, true.
We I think I was talking to you the other day is that our running goes. We've got 2 alright games away, which is Jags and then Jets. So then come home to Bills, then Chiefs in a row. There's a few of those kind of games and bits going on. And I'm like, I don't see us doing it.
Yeah, that's
keep the faith and all that. Extra
was
positive.
it last year of Tennessee to win their first 5 games.
Well, yeah, my bet last year to win the first 5 games and it came in.
How much was that? That was quite a big.
It's a couple $100 quid on it.
Yeah, it was
I think I only got 25 quid on and it was 10-1.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 250 quid, 200 quid. So
it was something. Yeah.
we'll take it and we run with it, but nothing of that sort now. Yeah. When the fun stop.
The fun stop. Gamble away.
Gamble. But yeah, I think that leaves me there. It is. And a final question. Is, if I can find it because it's on my phone. Any special guests coming soon? So we do. We have a miniature announcement that Chris has got.
Oh yeah. So first off, I want to just shout out to Joel again, just because I think Joel could. Well, he probably will be a guest on here. But yeah, the announcement is we do have some American friends coming over from the great state of Texas, and I'm sure we'll have them on. Shout out to Jack. He will be here with. I can't remember. I feel bad if he's listening. I don't even know his name. The other guy. But yeah, they'll be here, and we can have them on the podcast, and they can do all the talking and show their knowledge, and we can just sit back and relax.
They'll be asking, be like, "So, what do you guys think of this?" And we'll be like, "Yeah,
brilliant."
But do you think? No.
Like shaking her head up, and then shaking her head sideways. It's like yes, no.
This 3-man drive is going to be
So that'll be good. I'm excited for that.
It'll be us really sat in the corner, just far away.
Just get some actual American perspective.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. We've actually got some people that know what they're talking about. No, that'd be cool. So we look forward to them coming over. I need to speak to people to find out
Arrangements.
how long they're going to be here for and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely get them on the podcast. That'd be good fun.
But in all honesty, with that kind of question and what we're looking at is, if you're interested, give us a shout. We'll look at what's available. It's not a case of bring everyone and anyone on at any given time, but we'll look at what's going on. And
just some black off the street. What do you know about American football? Nothing. Perfect. Right,
You'll do.
You'll do.
other podcasts, anything like that. We're always happy to talk and we build relationships, and what's there is there. So it's the start of something that all come. I think now we're settled into a almost routine where we know how to work it. We're always happy to try and extend that and work with it from kind of the ground running.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the virtual piece put in as well, so
yeah.
We'll be able to get guests. We'll probably be able to start doing them. Originally, we were sort of so fresh to this, we didn't really know how to set it all up. But yeah, I think we're getting to the point now where we can do this virtually and have people sort of drop in on a chat and do it from the comfort of their own home. We don't have to meet up with them anywhere. So
yeah, we'll have a Discord set up and a Reddit set up. We can
yeah,
work
so
it from there.
obviously the guests that we are getting at the moment will be physically with us, which will be quite cool. But yeah, the virtual element will be nice. And yeah, going back, Joel, I reckon you'll be on this at some point.
We've got Pat McAfee coming on as well, so great news.
Oh, that'd be perfect. I don't know how we can get him there. Oh, if we can.
Yeah, we'll put the feelers out. See if it.
Pat, we know you listen to us, so if you could just drop us a DM and we'll get it sorted.
I would love to try and get him on a web call with us or something, or even if we can get on his show.
How much do you think it costs?
What, to get on the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Just what would we say? Hi.
Oh, we know everything we're talking about. Do you
Please
have a
ask
laptop with ESPN set up?
Yeah. Please ask me a question about quarterbacks.
Do you like comparisons to English football teams?
Harry Kane. What's your thoughts?
And what do you think of Jared Goff?
I could talk for hours. No fucking laptop.
No ESPN. no ESPN needed there. Cool. I think we're there.
I think we're there and thereabouts, yeah.
That's cool. It's been nice actually. It's been a pretty chunk on 1 hour 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's my first little chilled one today, isn't it?
It's actually we've actually more to speak about. I think the last episode we kind of not forced it out, but it was almost like Josh going to get one out, but nothing else was going on.
Yeah, there's more to talk about, and it's more free flowing.
Yeah, definitely. And when the season gets going, I was saying at the beginning, it'd be nice to we should be able to we should get on once a week really,
yeah.
And hopefully by that point, like I said, the virtual element can get involved, so we can.
Yeah, if anyone away.
Yeah, if anyone's away and stuff, we can do that, and that'd be perfect because then we actually got stuff to talk about every single week.
As always, though, please do go over to the YouTube, subscribe, get into it, keep following, keep sharing it because
we're everywhere now in terms of the pot.
We're on most socials.
For you guys, we're everywhere now.
We're on all socials. We're on every kind of podcast hosting service available.
We're on every posting, and yeah, we had the spike recently of
random places, and we're in marketing meetings now between the three of us. So we are going to have the hoodies out soon. One to you, Simon, because you were the winner.
Oh yeah, that's very delayed, but yes,
but it is on its way.
Hoodies.
You can get a bin sometime soon as a pen pop.
That's definitely coming. I can't wait. I'll take that to work. Cool. On that note, I think there's only one way we can come out of this.
We'll catch y'all in the next one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect.